tracking mild weather for your weekend as well as breezy conditions. I'll have more coming up with Forecast Track in just a few minutes. ABC 57 News at 5 starts right now.
Covering South Bend, Elkhart, and all of Michiana, this is ABC 57 News at 5.
Right now, cash-strapped Benton Harbor schools are set to lose even more state funding. How teachers in those school districts are doing more with less. And the Irish are on the road hoping to keep the momentum in this weekend's game against the Panthers. And Lakeville students have been home from school for several days because of water issues when they could be headed back to class. No water, no school. For 3 days, parents in LaVille scrambled to find childcare for their kids. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kim Chappell. Brian Dorman has the night off. That unexpected vacation is all because of a broken well pump. Tonight, ABC 57's Alexandra Cohen tells us that water testing is underway to make sure it's not contaminated before they reopen those schools. And Alexandra, what is the latest out there this afternoon?
Well, Kim, the water is back on and LaVille students will be heading back to school on Monday.
And after having a pump replaced, you have to go through a testing procedure. It's about a 48-hour process.
Principal Nate McKeon has been working to get kids in LaVille back to school. School was closed for a third day today after a well pump broke. The first challenge was getting the pump repaired. Now they need to make sure the water is safe to drink, and that can take several days of testing.
Both of those tests have been confirmed that we have safe water. Safety's got to be the number one issue here, and taking those tests, having those samples ran, that ensures student safety.
With children home from school, this week has also been a challenge for parents. One mother told me today that she's lucky her husband works nights and is home during the day to watch her daughter.
I work 3 days a week during the day and my husband works at night, so we can stay home with her and there's always somebody here.
Shirk told me she works with a family who had to hire a babysitter these past few days.
I think it would be hard, especially these times, when, the recession and all that people don't have a lot of extra money.
The principal told me that the water issues did not affect athletic teams. They still came here to practice and just brought their own water from home. Live in Lakeville, Alexandra Cohen, ABC 57 News.
It was 100 years ago this week. The Great White Hurricane barreled through the Great Lakes, killing hundreds and flipping freighters upside down. To date, it's the strongest storm that ever hit the Great Lakes. It happened when polar air mixed with a low over the Appalachians, and the blinding snow squalls killed 235 people and sank 40 ships. And today it is a chilly start to our day. Jackie Layer is in for Jamie tonight. A cold weekend ahead, right, Jackie?
Well, actually, we're going to be seeing warmer temperatures for Saturday, but then a little bit cooler as we head into your Sunday. So a little bit of a warm up, but we're not tracking anything in the way of showers for right now. Here's a look at your ABC 57 first warning live Doppler radar. But really, those temperatures are a little bit cooler for our Friday out there in the mid 40s right now all across the region. As we head out through the rest of the night tonight, those clouds will stick around with us and those temperatures will be just dropping down into the lower 40s. And again, like I mentioned, we're going to be tracking a little bit of a warm up for your Saturday. More coming up with the rest of your forecast in just a few minutes. Kim?
More charges were filed against a LaPorte County man who was arrested in September for violating his probation. County police say that this man, 39-year-old Carl Ulrich, was charged with 2 felony counts for having supplies on him that could be used to make meth. Ulrich is locked up in the county jail tonight without bond. There is one day in Michigan schools where attendance determines the amount of money they can get from the state. It's called Count Day. It happened on October 2nd, and for schools in Benton Harbor, it is vital to keeping that struggling district afloat. Tonight, those numbers are in. Our Jasmine Norwood joins us live tonight from Benton Harbor. And Jasmine, it is no secret that those schools need this state funding. So was Count Day a success this year?
Well, Kim, the numbers have dropped, which means state funding will be cut by the thousands. I talked with one teacher today who says she's taking matters into her own hands. She's even applying for grants and earning money for her students. Numbers from Count Day show a drop in enrollment in Benton Harbor area schools. This graph shows you just how many students have left the district since 2011. In dollars, this decrease in students means the district will not get about $320,000 from the state this year. Rachel Whipple says she lives for teaching band to young kids in Benton Harbor, students who may not otherwise have a chance.
I've worked for 6 years trying to find instruments for our low-income students, and it's always a challenge at the beginning of the year trying to get the students all set up.
In a district that's strapped for cash, instruments are not easy to come by. Whipple bought these practice drum pads today with grant money she applied for.
Before we were practicing on a tabletop, and they just had sticks. So now we can practice with the drum practice pads.
And she says to her students, it's made all the difference.
When they brought the check over, they said, "Can we get them now? When can you get them?" And I said, "It's going to be a few days." And they're very excited.
Now, I tried getting in touch with the superintendent today to ask him what it means for the school district now that they know that the state will be cutting several hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding, but he told me he did not want to talk to me or any other media. Reporting live in Benton Harbor, Jasmine Norwood, ABC 57 News.
And right now, the South Bend Police Department wants to keep you from becoming the next victim of a car break-in. There have been several car break-ins on the weekends lately. With the holiday shopping getting underway, police are tweeting, asking you to keep your valuables and purchases out of sight or stored in the trunk. Well, the Canadian oil pipeline company that's responsible for a big spill in the Kalamazoo River says it won't meet a deadline to finish the cleanup by the end of the year. In 2010, 800,000 gallons of crude oil spilled into the river when that pipe ruptured. The company says it won't meet the December 31st deadline because it had trouble getting a dredge pad near the site to dump that river sludge on. We do have a safety alert to pass along tonight. Garden Fresh Foods is expanding a voluntary recall of some of their products because they say it could be contaminated with listeria. The Milwaukee-based company is recalling fresh-cut veggies, slaws, ready-to-eat salads, and dips that were manufactured before November 6th. You can bring them back to where you bought them from for a full refund. Mayor Pete Buttigieg is already launching his campaign for re-election. The mayor sent out a letter to supporters today asking them to help him get re-elected. 2 years ago, Buttigieg was elected as the 32nd mayor of the city, and in September made a big announcement that he'll be deployed to Afghanistan for 6 months at the end of February. Well, right now, the equipment truck, the team, and the fans are making their way to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for this weekend's big ND Pitt matchup. We stopped by campus today and caught up with a few fans making that trek out east for the game tomorrow.
I'm from Pittsburgh, and it's always nice to go home during the weekends, and it's so convenient that the Pittsburgh Notre Dame Alumni Club has the bus that goes.
ABC 57 has your ticket to all the action this weekend, and the game kickoff is right here on ABC 57 at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And again, it is all happening at Heinz Field. That is where we find ABC 57's Emily Pritchard tonight. She joins us live right outside the stadium. Emily, how are things going out there so far?
Well, Kim, it's going great. Our crew just got into town this afternoon, and I can tell you it feels and looks like fall here. Now, Heinz Field sits right along the Ohio River, and there's no question that this stadium is ready for a big crowd to enter through these gates tomorrow night. And when we're saying big, we mean it. 65,500 fans can fit inside, and they are all expected to be here tomorrow night. Now, the stadium is home not only to the Pitt Panthers, but also the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this field was built and the Steelers first played on it back in 2001 when they played the Cincinnati Bengals. And the stadium has something that Notre Dame fans aren't so used to. They have a 26 by 96 huge scoreboard that they can catch all of the action on. And we talked with a Pitt fan today who tells us there's just nothing like watching a game behind the gates here.
It's pretty energetic. It's massive too, so the student section is right below, and then you just look up and you see seas of people. So it's pretty crazy, and you just feel like it's contagious, the energy.
And there is a lot of energy expected to be here tomorrow night. Kickoff is set for 8 o'clock. And ABC 57's Emily Evans continues our team coverage from Pittsburgh live tonight. That's at 5:30 this evening. She's on Pitt's campus talking to fans about how they feel about giving up that loss last year to Notre Dame in the triple overtime game. Reporting live from Heinz Field, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.
Thanks so much, Emily. And if you want to follow the Fighting Irish on your phone or tablet, Notre Dame revealed a new app called Go Irish. It has everything you need to know about Pitt and can be downloaded in the iTunes store. A record number of military vets enrolled in classes at Lake Michigan College so far this year. Those new numbers from the Benton Township School tonight show 136 veterans enrolled this year. That is up about 25% from the year before. The new GI Bill allows veterans to pay for college and graduate degrees, and LMC helps its student vets apply for Veterans Administration benefits and other financial aid. There are 2 new recruits to the Berrien County Sheriff's Department, both of them with 4 legs. 2 new canines will be added to the force, and one of them will specialize in sniffing out explosives. The idea actually came from the head of the Cook Power Plant when they realized the closest bomb-sniffing dog is in Grand Rapids. American Electric Power donated $30 grand for those dogs, and the Berrien County Kennel Club is also chipping in with free training. South Bend students and longtime volunteers are getting everything ready today to stuff the bus tomorrow. Today, we stopped by the Martin Supermarket on State Road 23 ahead of the big food drive tomorrow. People will be stuffing the school bus with non-perishable foods and personal care items for the South Bend Center for the Homeless. The Electrical Workers Local 153 has been a big part of Stuff the Bus, bringing out volunteers for the past 18 years.
Customers can come in and pick up a critical needs list, go through the shopping line and get their items and donate them, and we'll try to stuff the bus. And they get a great sense of giving and giving back from it. They bring their children. We've seen children grow up here from little 2, 3, 4-year-olds that are here as teenagers that don't miss it, won't miss it any year.
And if you'd like to stop by, you can donate between 10 and 4 tomorrow at all Martin Supermarket locations. The University of Michigan wants to bring in billions as part of the largest fundraising campaign in the school's history. The university's Victors for Michigan campaign is aiming to bring in $4 billion over the next 2 years. Ambitious. So far, they're almost halfway to their goal, receiving gifts totaling $1.7 billion. The top priority of the campaign is to raise enough money so that every single student accepted can afford to attend. Santa is already on his way to the University Park Mall tonight in Mishawaka. And tonight, the guy in the big red suit's arriving for a big tree lighting ceremony that gets underway in less than an hour. The Notre Dame's Children's Choir will also be on hand, getting everybody in the spirit of the season. And all new here on ABC 57 News at 5:30. With the snap of a seatbelt, boosters and car seats can save your child's life. But are you securing them correctly? We're going to show you. And tonight, new details in the death of a UNM student found shot to death in his apartment. And it is putting Category 5 storms to shame. A monster typhoon is pounding the Philippines. We're going to take you to the islands getting hit with 230-mile-per-hour winds.
Well, winds here are calm right now, but we're going to be tracking some more gustier winds as we get into your Saturday. More coming up with Forecast Track right after the break.